Something is happening in Chicago, and this time, it's not the cold wind sweeping through Soldier Field. It's tension. It's frustration. And it's the growing realization that something within this Bears team, something deep in their DNA, just isn't clicking the way it was supposed to. The city entered this season with belief, not blind hope, but real conviction. This was supposed to be the turning point. The year when the offense finally looked like a modern NFL powerhouse. The year when the rebuild would transform into a statement. The roster had been reshaped, the coaching staff revamped, and expectations soared higher than they had in years. Yet, just 2 games in, that optimism has begun to crack, replaced by déjà vu, disappointment, and doubt. Behind the box scores and the press conferences lies a far more unsettling truth. This isn't just a team struggling to execute. It's a team built on ideas that aren't working. A team caught in a cycle that refuses to break, no matter how many changes it makes. The biggest issue? The running game, a piece that was supposed to define Chicago's identity. The Bears didn't just invest in a talented backfield. They built their offensive structure around it. But right now, that foundation looks fragile. It's not the powerful, grinding machine that dominates defenses. It's a weakness, and it's pulling everything else down with it. For weeks, analysts warned that over-reliance on DeAndre Swift could backfire. And the early results have made that warning feel prophetic. Swift was brought in to be the feature back, the centerpiece of the new ground game. Yet his numbers have been brutal. An overall grade near the bottom of the league. A rushing success rate that ranks dead last. Even with Chicago's offensive line creating holes, ranked first in the NFL for yards before contact, Swift hasn't turned those openings into momentum. Instead of cutting upfield, he hesitates. Instead of breaking tackles, he's bouncing outside, running away from contact rather than through it. And in a city built on toughness, that's a hard thing to watch. Fans have seen this story before. A promising offense that loses rhythm because the run game can't sustain drives. It forces the quarterback to throw more. It makes play calling predictable. And it leaves the defense exhausted. It's not just about Swift's struggles, it's about what those struggles represent. An offensive philosophy that might be fundamentally flawed. Inside Hallis Hall, conversations have reportedly shifted from patience to practicality. Do the Bears stay loyal to their plan, or do they pivot now before the season spirals? 7th-round rookie Kyle Monangai and 3rd-year bruiser Roscoe Johnson have both flashed moments of promise. Physical runners who don't shy away from contact, players who could reshape the entire feel of this offense. If Chicago truly wants to break its losing pattern, those two may hold the key. Monangai's decisive, downhill running could finally complement the offensive line's strengths, while Johnson's bruising style brings that old-school Chicago toughness back to life. It's no longer about who looks the flashiest in open space, it's about who can keep the offense alive when the game gets ugly. Change isn't just an option anymore. It's a necessity. And it's coming sooner than people think. But the issues in Chicago don't stop at the line of scrimmage. Because while the offense tries to rediscover its rhythm, the defense, once the city's pride, is starting to unravel. The Bears' 0-3 start didn't just sting. It exposed something deeper, a lack of balance, trust, and pressure on both sides of the ball. Every time the offense stalls, the defense is forced to shoulder the burden. And every time the defense bends, it breaks, because there's no consistent pass rush to keep opposing quarterbacks honest. That's where things have hit critical mass. Chicago ranks near the bottom of the league in pressure rate, only about 1 in 5 dropbacks resulting in any real heat. And when the secondary is dealing with injuries and fatigue, that's a death sentence. It's a vicious cycle. The corners can't hold coverage for long, so the team can't blitz. And without blitzing, there's no pressure. Without pressure, quarterbacks pick them apart. The numbers tell the story, but the film makes it even clearer. Chicago's edge rushers aren't winning one-on-ones. The pocket stays clean. The rhythm of opposing offenses stays intact. So now, the front office faces a brutal choice. Do they wait and hope that injured corners return and magically fix the problem? Or do they go out and make a move that could actually change the trajectory of the season? That's where a name like Jalen Phillips suddenly matters. Phillips, a former first-round pick and one of the most physically gifted pass rushers in the league, has become a target of trade rumors. When healthy, he's explosive, fast, and relentless off the edge. 15.5 sacks across his first 2 seasons tell the story of what he can do when unleashed. But injuries have limited him recently, and that's where Chicago might find its opportunity. He's still on a manageable deal, and the Dolphins may be open to moving him for the right offer, particularly with cap flexibility in play. For the Bears, this isn't just about adding talent. It's about restoring identity. Bringing in a player like Phillips could transform the defensive front overnight. He would command attention, open lanes for interior rushers, and give the secondary a fighting chance. More importantly, it would send a message that Chicago isn't waiting for the season to fix itself. Because the truth is, waiting never works. The NFC is too competitive. The margin for error is too small. And the fans, the most loyal and demanding in football, have seen enough rebuilding years to last a lifetime. So yes, a trade for Phillips would come with risk. Yes, it might cost a mid-round pick or a young depth player. But it could also spark a turnaround when the team needs it most. And this is where Chicago stands, at the edge of a decision that could define their season. And if you're riding this emotional roller coaster with the Bears like we are, hit that subscribe button right now. Because every twist, every rumor, and every roster shakeup, we're breaking it all down here first. Don't miss what's coming next. Now back to football, because the situation is about to get even more complicated. While the idea of bringing in an elite edge rusher is tempting, the Bears might also be forced to address something just as urgent: the backfield. Because no matter how good the defense becomes, this offense won't survive without a functional running game. The conversations inside team circles have reportedly expanded to the trade market. And one name keeps resurfacing: Najee Harris. It's ironic, because not long ago, head coach Ben Johnson had a front-row seat to Swift's exit from Detroit. He knew what Swift could do well, and what he couldn't. And now, watching the same problems unfold in Chicago, Johnson's earlier decision looks smarter than ever. Under his system, Swift was supposed to thrive in space, but when that space disappears, his efficiency plummets. The Bears are discovering that the hard way. And that's exactly why Najee Harris has entered the conversation. At 27, Harris still carries the bruising, workhorse style that defines Chicago football. 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Nearly 30 rushing touchdowns. The kind of player who thrives between the tackles, who doesn't just absorb contact, but delivers it. But circumstances have changed for him. After the Steelers declined his 5th-year option, Harris signed a 1-year deal with the Chargers, and quickly found himself overshadowed by rookie sensation Amarian Hampton. Now, his carries are limited. His impact reduced. His value, more affordable than ever. A mid-round pick could get the deal done. And for a Bears team desperate to protect its young quarterback and re-establish control at the line of scrimmage, that's a move worth serious thought. Because this isn't just about stats. It's about tone. About attitude. About sending a message that mediocrity isn't acceptable anymore. Imagine pairing Harris's physicality with Johnson's emerging rotation of backs. Imagine the offensive line finally being able to lean forward instead of retreating on every snap. That's the kind of shift that can reignite an entire team. Of course, trades like these always come with risk, chemistry, contracts, expectations, but Chicago is past the point of playing it safe. If this team truly wants to compete, it must be willing to adapt faster than the losses pile up. And maybe, just maybe, that's what this season is really about. Not perfection. Not instant success. But evolution. A willingness to admit what isn't working, and the courage to change it before it's too late. So here's the reality: the Bears stand at a crossroads. Stay the course and risk another wasted year. Or take a swing, bold, risky, but potentially season-defining. Will it be Jalen Phillips, the edge force who could bring the defense back to life? Or Najee Harris, The power back who could steady the offense and protect the future of Caleb Williams. The answer, as always, lies in what kind of team Chicago truly wants to be. One that hopes things improve, or one that makes them improve. The city is watching. The fans are waiting. And the next move might just decide everything. So Bears fans, here's the question only you can answer. Should Chicago pull the trigger? Would you trade for Jaylon Phillips to fix the defense, or go all in for Najee Harris to rebuild the ground game? Drop your thoughts below, your ideas, your trade packages, your gut reactions. Because the future of this team might start with the exact move you're thinking of right now.